Kelly. Benjamin.
Animals are supposed to be out in the wild, where they naturally belong. But some people thought they know better. They encaged these wild animals and separate them from their home. But what if these animals defy their human captors? It will be a real horror. Here are wild animals that escaped from the zoo. By the way, make sure to click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our engaging videos. And use that trigger finger by smashing that like button. Now, let's get into it. To top off the list, we have Ken Allen, the orangutan who escaped to taunt his orangutan enemy. During the summer of 1985, an orangutan named Ken Allen at the world-famous San Diego Zoo repeatedly outsmarted his keepers for several months. He would escape by climbing the retaining wall that separated him from the public, using a series of virtually non-existent handholds. Allen's industrious climbing stumped zoo employees and inspired a fan club that grew with each successful escape attempt. After many escapades, employees began to keep watch on Ken Allen to figure out how he was climbing out of his enclosure. Like any good convict, Ken Allen stopped trying to escape when eyes were on him. The zoo had to hire expert rock climbers to figure out how he was getting out, and then spent $40,000 to fix the rocks, so he couldn't access his escape route anymore. Thankfully, no one was hurt except for his enemy. Next, in 2013, a wild tiger sauntered happily out of the forest and onto the grounds of India's Nandankanan Zoo. Rationalizing the tiger had shown up to try and get with the zoo's captive female, zookeepers took a chance and threw open the door to the enclosure. The male tiger happily wandered into the tiger enclosure and promptly made himself right at home. For the next several weeks, the tiger seemed happy to eat, nap, pace, and, of course, mated. Then, as nonchalantly as he arrived, he escaped, scaling a 2-story security wall to make his escape. To this day, the tiger remains at large. Hopefully, he's happy back at his home in the wild. Who wouldn't panic when they hear that a snake has escaped? For a period of 6 days in 2011, the Bronx Zoo's Egyptian cobra slipped its confines and ignited a citywide manhunt. Of course, the reptile's keepers insisted the cobra hadn't gone far the entire time it was on the lam. Fortunately, it turns out they were right, as the 20-inch-long cobra was found just a few hundred feet from her enclosure, safe and sound. Well, maybe the cobra just wants to have a little time out from his daily confinement. How about a wolf? In 1979, the Los Angeles Zoo managed to lose a half-grown wolf pup named Virginia, who escaped 3 times before ultimately disappearing into the wilderness. In spite of the commonly held belief that wolves can't climb trees, Virginia, the timber wolf, did exactly that. By shimmying up a tree trunk and then walking out onto a thick tree branch, Virginia was able to span the gap between her enclosure and freedom. She was never recaptured. This young wolf knows from her heart where she truly belongs. And 175 rhesus monkeys on the loose. Sounds fun. Led by a rhesus monkey named Capone, more than 150 rhesus monkeys escaped a Long Island zoo for several days in 1935. Most reports agree that the monkey's keeper was going about his normal cleaning duties when the monkeys made their move. He placed a board across the moat that spanned the rhesus monkeys' island and went to work. Meanwhile, the enterprising rhesus monkeys simply walked across the board to freedom. Like a true leader, Capone led them back home. The Queen of the Jungle escaped her prison. In 1997, heavy rains damaged the lion enclosure at Jungleland, a 7-acre zoo in Kissimmee, Florida. While workers attempted to fix the cage, a 2.5-year-old lioness named Nala made a break for it and stayed on the lam for nearly 2 days. Like an escaped house cat, however, keepers at Jungleland reported that Nala, who had been raised in captivity, tried to return to her cage on at least one occasion after escaping. Unfortunately, the frightened lion would flee before workers could get close enough to help her. Nala was finally caught when she was spotted by a search helicopter, which led keepers to Nala's location. She was immediately tranquilized and led safely back to Jungleland. What do you think about these wild animals that escaped from the zoo? Let us know in the comments section below. And hey, if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we continue giving you the best content. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.